What's up, guys? This is Cory.
This is Allen.
And welcome to CNA Films and Animation. Well, 2 weeks ago I started making these Oscar videos, and we are now on to part 3, and this is the final part of the Oscar-reviewed movies.
In this episode we will review Lincoln, Zero Dark 30, and Silver Linings Playbook.
Yep. And, well, what's the first movie we're going to view?
Lincoln had received 12 nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director for Steven Spielberg, Best Actor for Daniel Day-Lewis, Best Supporting Actor for Tommy Lee Jones, Best Supporting Actress for Sally Field, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, Best Editing, Best Production Design, Best Sound Mixing, and Best Original Score.
So, Lincoln is about pretty much, it pretty much depicts Lincoln's life up, from the point of the middle of the Civil War. He just finished his Emancipation Proclamation, and he is trying to get the 13th Amendment to pass, which was the amendment that abolished slavery.
Yes, he's trying to get it before his next election when all the cards are in the right order, really.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to, he has to get the House to 2/3 vote to pass it, and he's trying to force the Democrats, if I remember right,
Mm-hmm.
to vote yes, even though they do not agree with him. That's pretty much the plot of the movie, is him trying to get it passed and what all happened in that time period of trying to get this amendment passed.
Yeah, and so, what were your thoughts on the film, Alan?
It is a very interesting film. You get to see side of Lincoln you don't really see too much of that you can't get from history books.
Mm-hmm.
It's neat. Daniel Day-Lewis' portrayal is really, really good. He deserves a nomination. At times you really think, wow, this really is the president here. This is Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I'm usually not too interested in these.
I guess.
I like historical films. It's not one I would have seeked out, but I enjoyed my time.
Mm-hmm.
It is a long movie,
Mm-hmm.
but with the acting and the flow of the film, it really works for it. What did you think, Cory?
I did like this film. I thought it was very well done. I applaud Steven Spielberg, directing this film. It is a very big film, and I can only imagine Spielberg handling something like this. I mean, after his work with Schindler's List and even War Horse last year. And, I mean, it's just such a big and powerful story. And, a lot of that has to do with the directing. But just as much of the directing, or just as much of the effort into that is also goes to the acting in the film. And boy, I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis just melts into this role. I mean, within the first 15 minutes, you don't even remember it's Daniel Day-Lewis. You think it's Lincoln himself. And I mean, he just kills this part and did a fantastic job. Every award that he's gotten so far is well deserved. And let me talk about Tommy Lee Jones as well. He was really good as he was a representative of Ohio, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and he was very good as well. And so was Sally Field as Mary Todd.
Yes.
Everybody it really gave their all in this film, and it just really shows how powerful the story is. And I applaud it. You know, it's definitely one of the best movies of last year.
Yes, and it definitely deserves all the nominations it has received.
Mm-hmm. So, what would you give this out of 10, Alan?
Out of 10, I think I would give this movie a 9. It scored really well with me. The acting is great. The historically, it looked pretty accurate. They might have went away from history a little bit here and there. Costume design is really good for the time period.
Mm-hmm.
It really worked. It flowed nicely, and I enjoyed my time. How about you, Corey?
Yeah, I really liked this film. I thought it was very well done, as I've said, and I would give this film I think I'll give this film an 8.9. The only thing that's kind of teetering me a little bit away from giving it a solid 9 or higher is the fact that it is a 2.5 hour long movie, and at times it does drag a little bit, at least for me it did. But other than that, I mean, it's a great film. I highly recommend that you check it out if you guys get a chance. And yeah.
My only problem with the film, yes, it is a little on the long side, but to tell the story and the detail,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of needs to be long.
Mm-hmm.
There might have been a part here or there that could have been taken out. But that's for the viewer to really decide. Only problem I had with it was the ending of the film, which I'm not really spoiling anything. It does end with the death of Abraham Lincoln, really. Instead of showing any of the assassination or anything, it shows his son at a different play.
Mm-hmm.
Which, nothing wrong with that, but it just seemed they've been following Lincoln for so much of the film to just steer off at the end seemed a little out of place.
Mm-hmm.
For me. I'm not saying he should have shown the assassination. Maybe just show John Wilkes Booth like walking up behind him and then just panning away and showing the funeral or the death scene or whatever.
Showing the audience's reactions or something.
Yes. But for what it did, the film was really nice. I still enjoyed my time. That was just my little flaw with it.
So, what is our next film?
Our next film we are reviewing is Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30 was nominated for 5 Oscars, and those include Best Picture, Best Actress for Jessica Chastain, Best Original Screenplay,
Best Editing, and Best Sound Editing.
And so Zero Dark 30 it's all post 9/11, and it follows this woman who's played by Jessica Chastain, and she's trying to find a carrier to get to Osama bin Laden.
Yes. Throughout the film, they're trying to find somebody that has ties to Osama bin Laden so they can find and either capture or kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts out right after 2001, after the September 11 attacks, and it follows them interrogating people, torturing people, trying to find any information they can, and it shows parts where they fail and where they succeed. Mm-hmm. A failure, and one of the failures was the bombing of the London buses.
Mm-hmm. And that's more or less the basic plot.
Yeah.
I'll start with what I thought. Zero Dark 30 is okay. It's somewhat interesting just because I've grown up with 9/11, and I've grown up with the hunt for Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein and everything, and so I had interest in the film, but I would say that this is my least favorite of the Oscar-nominated films. And that is because this film is very slow and it's very kind of boring a little bit. You're following Jessica Chastain, who I thought she did an alright job. And, you know, it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. While that's not a bad thing, it's just I was hoping for something a little different. And it's probably close to what actually happened. So, I mean, in that respect, you know, I'm not going to knock this film or anything. It's just, it didn't feel like the type of film that I would have wanted to see.
Yeah, on my point of view of it, I kind of thought this was going to be something more like The Hurt Locker in a way. From the trailers, it seemed to focus on the military team hunting down Osama bin Laden, is what I thought it was. And this is more goes to the CIA and just the hunt for someone that can get ties that might know where Osama bin Laden is.
Mm-hmm.
While there's nothing wrong with that, it just seemed to be misleading for no real reason. So I was a little disappointed with that, but the film was interesting of telling exactly what went down into trying to find Osama bin Laden. Even though he's supposed to be the main focus of finding him, it just kind of seems to be pushed to the back burner, and Jessica Chastain's character is so focused on finding his carrier. And all I thought was a problem with the film was she finds evidence of where the carrier might be, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, Osama bin Laden is here. And I'm like, okay, something seems to be missing here, but alright, sure. And then they come up with they're going to send in this team to see if it is Osama bin Laden, which they never say the name of the operation, which would have been major for the military. They don't even say what team it is. What I mean by the media, it's SEAL Team 6 was the ones that did it, and that's been out. Everyone knows it's SEAL Team 6, and they're not even. The team isn't mentioned at all. They're called Canaries, which they're just using them to get information if this is Osama bin Laden or not. But it just kind of just pushes that team to the back burner. But the trailers show it like that's the main focus. And I thought that was kind of a rip on them. I did have a little problem with Jessica Chastain's character on her emotional level. I don't know. At times she didn't seem to have all that much, and other times she had too much. I don't know. That may have just been me seeing it. That's my point of view. At times she seemed a little out there. That's my point of view. Do you have anything?
Not really. You know, it's an okay film. Not my favorite, and I honestly probably won't watch this again. I saw The Hurt Locker. I was not the biggest fan of that movie either, and that's just probably because I'm not into war movies. And this is not necessarily a war movie, but it deals with like a lot of the Secret Service and all that, and I've never really had a strong interest in that area. So I mean, it's okay. That's about as far as it goes with me. What would you give it out of 10?
having a hard time deciding. The information from the film is great. Most of the acting is okay. I have problems with the film. I want to give it a 6.8.
Okay.
Well, how about you, Corey?
Yeah, you know, there were some strong elements to the film, but there was it was just way too long, way too uninteresting, and, you know, I would probably give this, honestly, probably just a 7 out of 10. You know, it's not one that I plan to watch anytime soon, and it's definitely my least favorite of the Oscar movies. So, yeah. And so, what is our last film? The last film that I'm going to review is Silver Linings Playbook. Alan hasn't seen this film, and so therefore he's not going to be able to take part in this review. So let me get into what this film's been nominated for. Silver Linings Playbook's been nominated for 8 Oscars, and those include Best Picture, Best Director for David O. Russell, Best Actor for Bradley Cooper, Best Actress for Jennifer Lawrence, Best Supporting Actor for Robert De Niro, Best Supporting Actress for Jackie Weaver, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Editing. And Silver Linings Playbook follows Bradley Cooper. He just gets out of a mental institution for kind of going berserk. He has undiagnosed bipolar disorder, and his wife basically cheated on him, and this caused him to pretty much go a little crazy. And he's starting to try and get his life back together. He wants to get back with his wife, and he's trying to find a silver lining in his everyday life. And from there, he meets Jennifer Lawrence. She just lost her husband, and she is she's a little bit crazy in a sense. She is probably a little manic depressive, and she's a little manic depressive, and she is, you know, she pretty much wants to, she says that she'll help Bradley Cooper out by giving his wife a letter if he will help her with a dance competition that her husband never took her to, and that they do every year. And so it's kind of a romantic comedy. It's also a drama dealing with you know, depression and bipolar disorder, and, you know, just kind of mental illness and everything. And I have to say that this is probably my favorite film of the year. It's so well directed, so well acted. I mean, Bradley Cooper, I mean, I known him for The Hangover and other comedies and stuff, but man, I mean, he really just killed this role, and he does such a fantastic job. Jennifer Lawrence steals the movie. She is very funny, very kind of sad in a way, and she does such a great job. I'm almost certain she'll win the Oscar for her performance. And I mean, Robert De Niro was very good, as was Jackie Weaver. Took me a little while to kind of get into Jackie Weaver's character, but, you know, by the end I really got into it, and I thought that she did a fantastic job. There are some very funny moments in this film, and there's some very touching moments, and it's all very well done through the directing. And, you know, like I said, I absolutely love this film. I thought it was just a great film, and therefore I'm going to give this a 9.7 out of 10. And so tell me, guys, have you seen any of these movies? What's been your favorite Oscar movies that you've seen so far? Which one do you think will win? Comment below, let me know. If you guys like this review, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe. I'm Corey, he's Alan, and we'll see you guys in the next one.